Hello friends, and welcome to the world of the International Fabtalks. We are happy to connect with all the unsung heroes across the world and the ones who are ready to share their time. Why they are ready to share their time? They want to empower you in the right way. They want you to be also very selective with your thoughts, views, and how you conduct yourself in the society. We have to take inspiration from the right kind of people. And today we are being joined by a very lovely guest who's joining us all the way from Bangalore, Karnataka. Bangalore is also called as Bengaluru. And our special celebrity and guest is none other than Ms.Suparna Ghosal. She is a mental health champion, a professor, and a social activist, and a wonderful Toastmaster as well. We're going to learn a lot from our celebrity and guest. Join me, friends, to welcome our guest. Hello, ma'am, and welcome to the session.
Thank you so much for inviting me onto your platform.
Thank you, ma'am. We should thank you because you've taken out time for us. We should be really grateful, and we feel honored to have your presence here. Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, I go ahead and share your profile to everyone. My dear friends, you are really privileged to share the space with us on the International Fabtalks to get to know about our celebrity and guest as to how her life could influence yours. So I'd like to share ma'am's profile. She's an adjunct professor of marketing at CMS Business School, JAIN University. And she focuses and specializes in advertising and communication, brand marketing, etc. Suparna ma'am brings in with her more than 27 plus years of wonderful experience in the field of advertising, strategic communication, brand building, and copywriting, and about 6 years of teaching experience. That's really nice. In today's modern world, what we require is how you brand yourself, how you build yourself. And this is all really very required. At CMS Business School, JAIN University, ma'am avidly is teaching the following subjects or the following zones. She's very focused on these: advertising and public relations, brand marketing, strategic marketing, product marketing, and consumer behavior, luxury marketing, etc. Having published a few research papers, Suparna ma'am is actively involved with student orientation. And this is the best part, inspiring students and enabling them to take out the very best that is hidden within them. All of us are hidden jewels or hidden gems. Only somebody has to tap it out, and ma'am does that very well. And student orientation is one of the best parts where ma'am focuses her energy. And friends, I'd like to add this: Suparna Ghosal ma'am also is very instrumental in, focusing on happiness and well-being. How many of us are happy? How many of us have lost that feeling of, wanting to be happy? We say we have faced so much of pain, so let us be sad itself. This is our life. But no, you have to focus on happiness and well-being, because that is what life is all about, a gift to be lived in the right way. As a 3-credit Open Elective Course. So I'll repeat that. Suparna Ghosal ma'am has been instrumental in introducing happiness and well-being as a 3-credit Open Elective Course at JAIN University from 2021 onwards. Till date, it has been opted by students of engineering colleges, science college, management school, and allied health sciences as well. In more and more students come forward to take part in this beautiful aspect connected with happiness and well-being. Totally, a number of 800 plus students have opted for it so far. Ma'am has also been very instrumental in taking the faculty development program on happiness for the faculty at CMS Business School. Ma'am is a certified ICF coach and a certified motivational speaker. She is a great Toastmaster as well. And friends, ma'am's passion is to speak to the youth and women. This is what I love about people. Wanting to inspire the youth, wanting to inspire the vulnerable people. You could take women who really require, that space to jump out from that shell which they are into. I want all of you, including me, everyone, to come out of that space and face the world with progressive thoughts. So our guest and celebrity focuses her energies to, empower the youth and women about radical subjects, about issues which most of us neglect or like taboo. We don't talk about it. It could be that. And she propagates that in taking care of one's emotional, physical, and spiritual health. It's not only the emotional or physical, it's also the spiritual growth of an individual all of this. It's called like holistic development, and collectively, she would love to create a healthy and meaningful society. And thereby conceptualizing the program in 2019, ma'am, naming it I Love Myself. In fact, every day, all of us should really focus on giving that space to ourselves. We have always neglected ourselves, mostly the mothers, or the caretaker of the family or the head of the family. They think of everybody, but they forget to love themselves. So here we're going to know more about it. We are really amazed, ma'am, to know about it and that you're going to let us know. And she has also reached more than 5,000 plus students propagating the same. That is, I love myself concept, etc. Further, Suparna ma'am has also held several sessions at numerous Rotary clubs across Bengaluru and has also conducted international sessions on the advantages of nurturing one's mental health through her Rotary Club. Above all, I'd love to say that, ma'am, you're a wonderful human being because very few people are so kind enough to share it with the world. If you're happy, then the world is over, done for them. They're happy with their life. But wanting to make others happy, to enable them to understand themselves and to be a part of that beautiful journey of transformation, hats off to you for that, dear. Dear ma'am, yes, dear. Dear ma'am, I've shared your profile. But I'd like to know, and our viewers would like to know, who is the real Suparna from you?
The real Suparna is a very free-spirited human being. Extremely free-spirited, and I have had advantage of being brought up like that. My parents never ever said to us that you will have to do this in your life. If you want to be a good human being, if you want to be a successful human being, or if you want to create a career of your own, none of them, neither my father nor my mother ever said, hey, you have to be on the top of your class. You have to get 90%. You have to be first class first. Nothing of that sort. So they always were like, try to be good, try to be sincere, be a good human being, help others, help yourself, right? Small things like that. Fortunately, I got married to a gentleman who also used to understand that thought process of mine. Rather, when he came and met my parents, he was so amazed by the kind of talk a 22-year-old girl or a 23-year-old girl will have with her father. Like talk on philosophy, on spiritualism, on wine, on drinks, on career, on how does one think about career growth. It was a very free-spirited talk at our place. Or when my mom calls and tells, Aake parathe banao, right? She gives a call from the kitchen and, okay, I leave everything. I go to do rotis with her and things like that. So somewhere right from the beginning of our childhood, when we started to get our senses, we had that wonderful opportunity. Like, I'm a Bengali, my parents are Bengali, but we have never stayed in Bengal. So what used to happen at my place was that every Sunday morning, my dad used to make it a very playful point to read Tagore to us, right? Tagore's stories, Tagore's poems, Tagore's songs, they were read to us and the meaning was told to us. I would like to share a small story here. If you know about the flower Parijat, there is a flower which is called Parijat, white colored flower with orange stalk, which blooms early in the morning and falls down, right? But that flower is picked up to give for puja. So when I was 4 or 5 years old, I vaguely remember that we used to walk down the entire lane towards the end and collect those flowers. I remember one day I was ready to jump over that with my slippers on, and my father telling me, flowers are living beings. They have life. You should not jump over them. Take care of them. And from that day till today, I feel there are living beings all around us. There is life all around us. If only we can value that, it makes a lot of difference into your understanding of life. So I'm a very free-spirited person who likes to take call on for example, my education is in the line of microbiology. But when I ended up in a very high-ended laboratory for my career's first job, after working for 7 days, I really didn't like it, honestly. It's like you come in at 9 o'clock, you sit in the lab, you keep on doing research, and in the evening you go back. So I called up my dad and said, hey, I'm not liking this. He said, you really are not liking? I said, yeah, I really am not liking. He said, okay, fair enough. Come back home. You don't have to carry on with a job if you are not happy there. You will be able to perform only when you fall in love with what you're doing. And if you're not doing that, please come back home. You can put in your papers. That was my first job after I got married. So I called up my husband and I said, I want to put in my papers. He said, please do it. Shock's sake. It's your life, right? And I got that opportunity at one of the best pharmaceutical companies in India. But I put in my papers. So whenever I felt from within that I'm feeling this claustrophobic, I'm not feeling right, I have felt that I can speak it out. And there have been people in my life who have really accepted that. And that makes me free spirited. From microbiology, I went off to get into the world of advertising. Again, there a few men whom I met, I said, I do not know A of advertising. They said, no problem. What you know is communication. Advertising is communication. Come join hands. We'll learn together. So that has been my life. The true Suparna is a very free-spirited person, does not like, staying in boxes. कि इतना ही करना है, इससे ज्यादा नहीं करना है. इससे ज्यादा करेंगे तो लोग क्या कहेंगे? I'm really not of that kind. Another thing is what I like is I like to help people because I have been helped by people. I have been helped by people many, 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 many times in my life. So today I feel that it's time for me to give back to the society. And in the process, enjoy every moment of your life. Whatever life you have, you will be living on this earth only once. You don't know whether you will come back. So enjoy, create a value system. I'm not very ambitious, but I like to live life the way I am. And thankfully, I've been able to do that. Yeah.
Excellent, ma'am. Thank you for sharing that right from the Parijat flower you mentioned and how you overcame all, the various what if I could
Small hurdles, whenever I have.
yes, the shift, I mean to say, the shift from microbiology into advertising. It was not an easy one to take a call on that yes, I'm going to put up my papers now, but you had very supportive people around you. And you're one lucky person, ma'am, because many of the people out there, they really have unsupportive family members, either or unsupportive partners. It could be just people who don't agree with them. And what I loved about you is you said, I've been helped and I would like to do the same to others. That's really nice. And it gives such a lot of positive energy, when you share that. So that encourages others to be good and to give back. If somebody has helped you, please help it when the time comes for you.
Yeah.
That's really nice. I'm becoming speechless because I was so happy when you shared all of that. So I could, create a mental picture with that little girl walking there where the Parijat flowers are there. And so I went into that imaginative zone and I came back. I even imagined you in the laboratory and all with your work over there. And then you're back here with the advertising industry and like with regard to advertising. Ma'am, that's really wonderful, ma'am. And my dear friends, this is how you should really be shocked and amazed as to how people can be with positivity around them. And as ma'am said, I like to live the life the way I am living it, being very positive, because most of us have these grudges. We have this victim mentality. Yes, always in that, ma'am. And you said you're a very free spirited person. So I love that. Now, many of us have been like victims to various forms of abuse. It could be emotional, verbal, financial, anything. Then how one comes out and lives that free soul, like be a free soul, be free spirited. If you could just help us, and then we go on with our journey further.
Let me tell a small story.
Yes, please.
I was working with the advertising agencies for a very long time, almost 27 years, when my dear husband decided to move to Dehradun. Dehradun is a small city, very small city. It's a city for tourists. It's also a city for good education. So he was into the design education. He has been leading design educator for a very long time. He was invited there, so we went there. After going there, no advertising agencies. Okay, so what do? I started doing gardening. I started enjoying going to my son's school, almost in the Himalayas. We used to stay from my home on from the second floor. I could see snowing in Missouri. We can see it just hardly 35 minutes, 40 minutes drive, you reach Missouri. Things like that. But then, at a point, I thought that, Suparna, you have done, I used to head entire South India for a particular company. Very powerful job, very good pay. From there, you suddenly go and you don't have anything. Correct? It could lead to depression. It leads to depression. It leads to devaluating your own self. I've seen many people do this, right? At that point, either you take a chance and tell, Jo bhi hai, I'll make good out of it, right? And you start enjoying your life in whatever you get, instead of trying to find fault with the whole world. It will not help. Because I have agreed to follow my husband. He has not pushed me. He said, you want to stay back in Bangalore? You stay back. But I also have to understand that my partner also needs a growth curve. He also understands that I need a growth curve. But for women, particularly women world across, nothing to do with India, world across, a woman is a mother, right? She is the axle of the house. And that axle needs to be very strong. If all of us find faith in ourselves that I am the central core beam around which the whole house moves, and you position yourself like that from the day one that you enter your new home, with little amount of dignity, humbleness, lot amount of humbleness, not little, lot amount of humbleness, give respect to the elders of the house, the elders will also start respecting you. Slowly you become the center of the house. Once you become the center of the house, then you can lovingly call your shots, right? But when I went to Dehradun, I took the call that I'll go to Dehradun. After going to Doon, no advertising. So I said, okay, I'll do gardening. And I started doing gardening, lovely dahlias in my place and things like that, till during one of the, those dinner meets that directors have with the management, where the wives are also invited. I was invited. And then somebody told me, a very senior gentleman told me that, are you a pure housewife? I said, why not? I'm a pure housewife, right? Nothing wrong in it. Then he said, but do you have a career? I said, 27 years, this has been my career. These are the places I have worked. These are the brands I have worked. He said, why don't you come and teach our children? I said, what do you mean by children? I cannot handle so many children. He said, no, come to our university and talk to our students about what practical things happen in life. We teach them theory, but what happens in the industry is a very different thing. So here you are with some industry focus. Why do you want to not share your stories to the younger generation? I said, not that. It's just that I've never taught. But he said to me a very funny thing. He said, okay, fine. Please come to the college. We will give you a slot on teaching a particular subject, advertising, for 15 days. After 15 days, we'll take a feedback from the students. Students love your teaching. You stay back. We offer you a job. But students don't like your communication, do not like your examples, are not able to follow you. Then, okay, you take your call, move on. That day I thought, oh, here's a chance. Here is a bridge. I need to cross it. You need to observe your own life. You need to find out your own opportunities. You need to recognize your opportunities. You need to see, कोई एक हाथ बढ़ा रहा है तो पकड़ो उस हाथ को. I cannot sit with my ego. कि अरे, why will a student touch me? I could have said that, right? After working for 27 years, if somebody tells students are going to judge you, tiny mini children, then it could have hurt my ego, right? But that doesn't help in real life. In real life, what helps is observing yourself and understanding that there is an opportunity there. Can I make the best of the opportunity? Right? And so I went and taught for 15 days, and I understand that the feedback given to us was, we enjoy her classes. हमारे पास pressure नहीं होता है पढ़ाई का. Right? So that's how I entered from a pure corporate life to the field of education. And then I've stuck on there because after talking to the students, telling them what happens in the real world of advertising is very different from what you are reading in the classroom. But how are you going to tackle when you actually start your work life? Hardly 2 to 3 years. And after that, you all want your jobs, right? How do you tackle it? I almost felt a purpose in my life that it is time to give it back to the society, tell to the students. So when you have such thoughts in life that people are not being good to me, my partner is not supporting me, my children are not listening to me, my in-laws do not understand me, right? The best way is to flip the story around, change the narrative. I feel my in-laws are not understanding me. Let me go to my in-laws' place. Let me cross over to that side and start thinking from their angle. We have to make this, we have to take this small little step with our own selves. Walk over to the other side and think from their shoes. Then you will see what are they actually trying to get from you. Probably they want your security. Probably they want that आप आराम से घर पे रहो, क्या करोगे बाहर जाके नौकरी करके, right? बच्चों को अच्छा बनाओ. Maybe they are talking like that. They are right in their perspective because they would not have seen their life as an outgoing woman, but as a very strong matriarch within the 4 walls, right? Find out what are the positive points there and work accordingly. You know what stops at many, many homes is we do not like to talk to people. We do not like to listen to people. Hearing is a different thing. Somebody is talking there, I'm hearing. Somebody has opened a door inside my bedroom, I'm hearing. But am I really talking? Am I really listening? क्या हम सुन रहे हैं, दिल से सुन रहे हैं? Am I listening from the heart? Then things change. We think mother-in-law is giving an order, husband is giving an order. अरे बात करो ना उनसे, talk to them, tell them कि मुझे ये अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है, मुझे ये करना है. Are you okay with it? Are you not okay with it? अच्छा, with what are you okay with? Right? Very small example for a newlywed lady. You don't know how to cook a dal. एक simple dal आपकी मम्मी ने नहीं सिखाया. And we feel very bad. हमारा ego hurt हो जाता है. Our ego is hurt. We start telling, how come your mother can talk about my mother like that? Evening, your husband comes back home, your gentleman comes back home. He wants to relax. Instead of that, what we start telling? We start complaining about his mother to him. Why? Why? Instead, when the mother-in-law would have said that, you know, आपके मम्मी ने दाल बनाना नहीं सिखाया, उल्टा हमें बोलना चाहिए, आप सिखा दीजिए. ये घर की रिवाज आप सिखा दीजिए. मैं तो मेरी घर की कर, आपके घर में कुछ और होगा, मैं सीखने के लिए राजी, आप एक बार दिखा दो, 2 बार दिखा दो, सीख जाऊंगी. How do you tackle a narrative is very important. 99% of the times we do not want to do it. And when we are not wanting to do it, probably at that time there's a pressure of some emotional pressure हो सकता है, मैं गुस्से में हूँ, I am angry, I am hungry, I am not being given the kind of importance that I thought. No. The problem with our lives is expectations. Only one word. We expect here, and when we don't get it, trouble begins. It is better to keep your expectations at lower level. Underplay, overachieve. But if you have your expectations there, it becomes a problem. So therefore, in my program of I Love Myself, when I speak to the younger children and we tell them कि उनको mental health issues, the whole world tells that children, 11th and 12th children are under tremendous pressure to perform. So we should talk to them about mental health. After having spoken to almost 1100 to 1200 students from municipal schools, very elite schools to premium schools, I realized only one thing: the children are good. There is no problem with them. It is the parents like me who tell, बच्चे आपको इंजीनियर पढ़ना है, बच्चे आपको डॉक्टर बनना है. You have to be this. You know that auntie's son is doing this. You know this auntie's daughter is so beautiful. Take care of your skin. We are comparing our own children. That works for them. Right? So every time I have done a program, one or the other child has walked up to me and said, can you do the same program for our parents? Right? Every time it has happened. Trust me, every time. Whether I have gone to a very elite school or I have gone to a municipality school, doesn't make any difference. They tell, can we call our parents? Can we call our teachers? Will you speak the same thing? Right? So you see that our children are nice. We create expectations out of them. In India, I think you have heard about a place called Kota, where students go to get entrance into IITs and medical colleges. And in the past 3 months, the report is a suicide a day. 1 suicide per day. Right? Why? Because they know that they are not capable of taking up those exams. अगर मुझे मालूम है कि मेरे को मैथ्स नहीं आता है, तो मेरे को नहीं ढको लेना. Don't push me to that. But parents have their aspirations, their social standing, their expectations, their dreams, and they want to do that through their children. अच्छा मैंने नहीं किया तू करेगा. I have not done, you will do it. Wrong. Galat. That is where in the younger children we find this problem. So I tell anybody and everybody that your dream are your dream. It cannot be your child's dream. It cannot be your husband's dream. It cannot be your mother's dream. It cannot be your father's dream. It is your dream. You have to understand what you want to do with yourself. And you have to communicate about it. And listen to the other people. So listening. So very important. For example, if I come home very tired, and my partner, my husband also comes home very tired, I might tell him a very small thing. Yeah, chai bana do, please make the tea. And he might tell, please make the tea. Now that cannot become a point of ego tussle, right? If in a nuclear family. In a joint family, you will get a comment if the lady of the house comes late. Arey, itni der kaise ho gaya? How did you come so late? You must remember कि घर बार है, बच्चे हैं, पति है. But I have also got not a naukri, I've got a responsibility towards an organization. An organization has hired me for my skill set. So I have accountability. I have responsibility, not a naukri. So you see how you can change a narrative, how you can change the story. If you know how to tackle your language and your emotion. So it's very important for us to understand our communicative language. Many of us can write very well, but how many of us can talk very well? It's a question, very big question. Each one of us can do it. A little nudge here, a little hand holding there, a little eye-opening statements here. Just twist the story a little. Thoda twist kar. And people suddenly understand, oh, Suparna, you are right. You could have done it this way. So yeah, do it that way, do it a couple of times. Then slowly it becomes a habit. And another thing which is very much required for us to get out of our depression is validation. Somebody standing up for you. Very, very much required. I'm a professor. I deal with the MBA students. I teach the MBA students. Many of them in a class of 40, it is about 15, 16 are very bright. The rest are average. But even in those average students, there would be some strong point. Something. Somebody might be able to paint, somebody might be able to sing, somebody might be a good blogger, somebody could be a very good reel maker, IG reels. As a teacher, it becomes my job, or it becomes my moral responsibility to point out that thing and tell to that student, hey, boss, you're good in this. Work in this. He will tell, many times students have told, but this is not a part of MBA. I said, who said? Who said? It is a part of your life. It is your life. It's my life, there's a song, right? And it's your life. You need to value yourself. And this is your strength. Has anybody told to you? And they will 100% of the time they have said, nobody talks to us like that. Everybody talks to us about MBA and attitude and aptitude. But you are the one who will suddenly come and tell, oh, you've got lovely hair. A small validation makes a difference. Even to me, somebody comes and tells me, hey, Suparna, you spoke damn well today. Yeah. I feel happy with myself. So that's the point. You can easily come out of it. Easily come out of these things. Provided you know what you have to talk in the right language, in the right tone, and change your story a little and see it from the other person's perspective. You can do wonders with your life. Yes.
Yes, dear. That's really nice, ma'am. Thank you for sharing all of that. As you beautifully shared it right from the start as to how students love you for who you are and what type of a message you're sharing with the students. You also mentioned that children come up to you and request you to take the same session for the parents and teachers as well. That speaks volumes of as to how, passionate you are with your work and what you want to convey to your students is very well conveyed. That's beautiful, ma'am. Dear ma'am, we'd like to know about your childhood, early childhood. Is there any memorable incident with regard to any humorous situation, or maybe where you were the naughty one or the shy one? I would like to know some anecdote about your childhood.
My childhood. I was a very not a naughty, but a very playful person. If some teacher would tell Suparna, sit here, very difficult for Suparna to sit there. If the teacher says, Suparna, go play and come back and sit here, I'm happy. right? Something of that kind, but it's a very playful person. I still remember when I was in my nursery, upper KG, right? I was jumping. For what good reasons, I don't know. We opened our shoes and we were jumping from a 3 feet veranda to the grass, 3 feet veranda to the grass during an interval. And a nail went through my feet. Nail, right? And those days, I'm talking about 40, 45 years back, 50 years back, right? When a nail goes through your feet and it's bleeding profusely, there are no mobiles, doctors are not all around. I still remember my school ayah who came, picked me up like that, and she did not take permission from anybody, but was running with me like that to the nearest doctor, right? And then the doctor, I was given, obviously it should have been a tetanus or something like that. My leg was bandaged and she came back, and while she was coming back, some teacher was yelling at her, right? And this was in a city called Rajamundry in Andhra Pradesh of India. And that lady did not tell anything. She did not retort anything. She was still carrying me and I was still crying. And she quietly comes to the teacher and says, this child has hurt herself. I took her to the doctor. I'm requesting you, please inform her parents. So she was given 2 injections. Then the teacher quiet. Even today, I remember this. That human being did not worry about anything. Picked me up and ran. One incident. Another incident was when I was in my 2nd standard, and we were supposed to give speech in front of the entire school on Children's Day. I came to my father that day evening and I said, tomorrow I have been selected to give a speech. What am I supposed to speak? My father turned back to me and said, how do I know what are you supposed to speak? I said, Arey, I came to you for help. You please write the speech and give it to me. He said, no, 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 you are going to speak. You write. See the way they trained us from the early childhood. Hardly 6, 7-year-old we were. Whatever comes to your mind, you please write. Then we will see. And he said, but from where are you going to write? I said, there is, in my social studies textbook, there is a chapter on Jawaharlal Nehru. So the teacher said to study that. He said, okay, go and study that. Then he picked up some books. If I turn around the laptop, you will see in my home also only books. So he gave me a book, Letters from Father to Daughter. What Nehruji wrote to Indira Gandhi when he was in the jail. And it was a pictorial. He said, go through this also. I said, I will not understand anything. He said, do not worry. Jo samajh mein aaya likho. Right? So I made some stories, some drawings. And after some time, I came and told my father, this is what he said, fabulous. Tomorrow you'll speak this. But if I forget, he said, no, I am not asking you to memorize this thing. I am telling you, you're going to talk about this. That's all. And always remember, in the audience, some will like you, some will not like you. We focus on people who like us. We do not focus on people who do not. I said, if I stammer, he said, okay, stand and tell it to me and mama, no, 2 times, 3 times. So I said. He said, good, go ahead, tomorrow competition. I went, I got the certificate, I was very happy. And there started my life of getting into debates and elocutions. The other end of this is, when I was in my bachelor's, I was competing at national and international events. And I always used to come home with the first prize. One day I lost. That day I did not know how will I show my face to my parents. First prize was the second prize to definitely mil hi jata. I would get it all my life in debates and in elocution. That day, I did not even get the consolation prize. Okay. So I came home and my mother said, "What happened? Why are you looking like this?" I said, "Mama, I didn't get any prize." She said, "You, why?" I said, "I don't know. I said, I don't know how to face Papa when he comes back from college, office." He was also a professor, incident. So my mother said, "Okay, let's see. You go take a bath, come back, have some food." But I was not able to eat, not do anything. I was like that. And my father comes home and does not see me where he generally sees me every day. And he asks my mother, "Where is she?" And she's upstairs in her room. "Why, what happened?" So she said, "You only go and talk to her." I can hear everything that they're talking downstairs. So my father calls me, "Come down." So I came down. He said, "What happened?" I said, "I did not win even a consolation prize, Baba, today." You know what my father said to me? He said, "Very good. Very good that you lost." I said, "What do you mean by that?" He said, "There was a requirement that you have to lose because you had suddenly created a superiority complex about your own self." I was not liking it, honestly. Anywhere you used to go, you will tell, "I am going to win." That's not the way of winning. The way of winning is very, very humble and down. Ye zaruri tha. Losing was necessary in your life, dearie, and I'm happy that you have lost. If you lose, only then you will value your win. For a very long time, you are winning, and I am not happy with that. Today, I'm happy that somebody else has. That was a lesson in my life. For my life, there's nothing wrong in losing. You have to lose to win. It opened my eyes like anything. You get come marks, no problem, but you know where to work. You get hung up with a relationship, try and understand yourself. Why am I not able to take that relationship forward? Okay. Work again. You are not able to get a promotion. Why you are not getting a promotion? Work on it. Right? Failures are necessary for us to build our success story. So my bachpan was like this. Right? And I used to love playing badminton very much. I used to play badminton. But every Sunday morning, it was my parents who used to play badminton. And both of them on one side and me on the other side. We used to play like that. What else can I tell? I was given freedom to travel anywhere in India for my competitions. I remember the first time I traveled to Cochin from a small place called Anand in Gujarat. And my mother asked, "Are you sure you want her to travel to Cochin? She's in 11th standard. She will travel by train with a group of other boys from other colleges." And my father said, "We have to trust a human being and let her go." So I have learned that with my own children. They never had any pressure of performance, and they have grown up to be beautiful human beings. And I always tell them, if somebody wants to do something, go ahead and do it. No. Maximum kya hoga? Hum nahi kar payenge. It's okay. We learn something. Right? So this is how I have learned in my life.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing your beautiful journey. As a youngster, you started off with that nail and how you were saved at the right time by that support staff. That's really very nice. And ma'am, you've also shared about your journey, how you won and then you lost and all of that. And I think your dad, I believe your dad is really a superhuman being because I see a lot of strength and power within him that he has let that light even shine in you, and you're spreading it now. That's really nice, and it's very rare to find like this. The head of the family or the father figure taking that much of interest in bringing up a girl child, because you belong to a time like maybe 3-4 generations earlier where they thought having a girl child is a curse. But your dad is really, I should say, a superhuman being, giving you all the, the right training, the right guidance, that's really nice, the right mentorship. And I wish we all have fathers like this in our lives, or a mentor like this in our lives.
Yeah.
Yes, dear. One lucky one, ma'am. Seriously, that's really nice. Dear ma'am, how would you want to be remembered in this world, and why should people remember Suparna, ma'am?
Why should people remember Suparna ma'am if I have touched somebody's life somewhere and that has helped them to move forward? And if they come back somewhere and tell that, oh, this teacher was there who told me this, or oh, she was my friend, she helped me this, that much is more than enough. More than enough for me. I really do not want a glorified thing or something like that. For example, how do I tell it? Okay, I have to tell this story. When we were in Dehradun, as you're talking about a girl child, I'm telling you this. There was this girl who came from Agra. She was studying aviation engineering. Aviation engineering. Top performer in her line in her college. BE aviation engineering. One day, I never taught the engineering students. I was teaching the marketing students. One day she comes up to my cabin and she tells, can I talk to you for some time? I said, sure, but I do not know who you are. She says, no, you do not know me, but then you teach my friends. I said, fine. Any problem? She said, yes, I have a small little problem. I said, what is the problem? She says, my father does not want me to get into the shop floor of the aviation world. So when you do an aviation engineering, where are you first asked to go? Your first airport mein aapko milega where the planes are serviced. Your first job is at the shop floor there. And you work along with the male counterparts. And there is no differentiation of timing because an airport runs 24/7. Okay? So when you do an aviation engineering, particularly with a mechanical understanding, mechanical and electrical understanding, that's where are your first jobs. So she comes back that day and she says, my mother is fully supportive of me to get that kind of a job, do that kind of a job, but my father will not allow me to. I said, so what do you want to do? He said to me, I want to have a career of my own, but I do not want to upset my parents. Definitely not my father. I said, okay. So what do you want me? What kind of a help do you want me? He said, can you guide me as to with my aviation background, where can I get an alternative career option? I said, give me one day, let me research, because I do not know that line. No. So I researched. At home on the dinner table, I spoke to my husband. My husband said, oh, there are a number of chances. She is an aviation engineer from Agra, the hinterland of India. Let her talk to NASA. Let her talk to UNO. Let her talk to the whole world. Let her talk to UNICEF about how a girl child has studied this and is ready to share her experiences to the whole world. How she has excelled, how she's getting her job offers. But she wants to talk about how the girl child is still having the hurdles. Let her start speaking about that on different platforms. Ask her to find everything. So that night I sat on the internet and found where can she talk this. I gave her a bunch of websites. Next day when she came to me, I said, you can become the spokesperson of educated, literate women in India who face hurdles, even though you have got wonderful educational qualifications. Would you like to do that? And she said, oh, wonderful, I would like to. I said, start talking to people. And she started talking to people. And we left Dehradun, we came back to Bangalore. One day I get a small voice note telling that, ma'am, I am going to Harvard to speak on the same subject. I have been invited to give a speech of 15 minutes at Harvard. That's the vindication I want. You touch life somewhere. Chota sa, thoda sa, little only. But students remember, friends remember. That's more than enough for me. There are innumerable students who come back and tell that, hey, you told us that we should tackle a problem like this. I've been able to do this. Thank you so much. A small note. Sometimes during gratitude day, a small Cadbury wrapped up. Thank you, ma'am, for being with us. I think that's more than enough. I would want the world to remember it exactly like that. And my children too, I think they should love me because of the freedom that I give to them. So, or we gave to them, both of us, of course, not me alone. But we are a very liberal parents, pretty liberal parents. And they take their decisions. The only thing is, if you go wrong, the first call is to home. We are friends to bail you out. We are not here to judge you. Right? That's the only thing that we have told again and again to both our children. And I think both of them treat us more as friends than as parents. And we'd like to be remembered. Yes. That's all.
Awesome, awesome, ma'am. Superb, superb. I'd love every parent to be like this, to give the freedom to their children to decide. And of course, if anything goes wrong, the first call should be here, home. Remember us. That's really nice. In this way, we, trust our children and they become more responsible. Absolutely. They become responsible citizens. Yes, dear. It's really very nice, ma'am, getting to know your thoughts, and sharing your view and opinion with regard to various aspects. Dear ma'am, do you ever get time to watch movies? Are you always busy with helping out people and, with work and all of that? Do you ever get time to watch movies? And if yes, your favorite movie?
Definitely. Every day during dinner time, me and my daughter, we enjoy a movie. Maybe half. Maybe we can't see the whole 3 hours movies. But we would see it in parts. But that's our TV time. And both of us like to watch movies. Any movie has a message. Any movie has got a lot of technicalities. For example, even the worst of the movies will have a wonderful cinematography. Will have a wonderful script. Will have good songs. But the story is monkus. It's bad. It's okay. So whatever you see, you find, you should be able to find a good in that. That is point number. Point number 2 is what kind of movies we like to watch. We like to watch very nice, old romantic movies. I do not like Hollywood. I feel there is so much in India and there is so much happening on the Indian Netflix or on the Indian stories that come out. I think there is a subtle message there that and lot amount of good content is happening in India. And I love to watch them definitely every day, at least 45 minutes. However busy I am, I love to watch movies and I love to listen to music. And when do I listen to music is when I drive to my office, 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening, 2 hours soulfully mine and only mine and my music. I love to listen to ghazals. I love to listen to old Hindi songs, particularly the Rafi, Kishore Kumar, that era, Jagjit Singh. I am more into the way the words are told. जगजीत सिंह का एक गाना है कि अपने दीवारों को सजा कर देखो, वो भी बोलते हैं एक कहानी. Each one of us decorates our home. Each home is our personality. Your home is your personality because everything goes according to your choice, you and your partner's choice. So our home actually reflects who. In some homes, you will see jazz. In some homes, you will see music. In some homes, you will see a lot of warmth, In some homes, you will see good food. In some homes, people come and sit. They don't want to go. And in some homes, you just want to come, prim and proper, and you want to. Every home is a reflection of your own person. And I love that part of the story in my home. Yes. Well, however busy I am, 45 minutes of TV and 2 hours of music must.
Excellent, ma'am. That's really nice. Thank you for sharing, dear. Ma'am, what is that one thing you love about Suparna?
To laugh even when there is trouble around the corner. Be able to laugh, to be able to find a meaning, to be able to meet fear eye to eye. You need a lot of courage to do that, right? The point is you need to acknowledge that. Lot of fear, many, many times, honestly. But if I turn away from that fear, it will keep haunting me. Instead, I like to meet it upfront. Whatever. Okay, something is not. Fear is not fear of the unknown, fear of the known. You know that this is going to happen. Unknown fear to khab. No, it's illusion. Kya hoga, I don't know. That's not fear. Right? Fear is when you know something is going wrong. How do you tackle it then? That is what I am. And even in that situation, how to control myself. And I would give full credit to my family for being with me in those moments of trouble. Everybody in my family, my son, my daughter, my husband. Sometimes my friends also. Yes, they're always. For example, I just came back from Malaysia and I was not able to do one water sport, right? But my students, they said, ma'am, we will help. Those boys, they need not help me, right? They never helped other faculty. But they said, ma'am, we are there, daro mat. Oh, bache do taraf. Two students, two sides. You enjoy your water skiing. You don't worry at all. You know? So I know that if I fall, I will die in that water. But at that moment, they are seeing that I want to do it. Somebody will come to help. That is why I am telling. I have been helped innumerable times in my life, even today. That is why I feel so much of gratitude. I'm ready to help anybody who wants, who can just come and tell me, help me out. I'm ready to help. The whole world, life, happiness, unhappiness, everything happens in this world. It's a circular life. What you do, you get it back. And that's what I am. Yeah.
Perfect, ma'am. That's really nice to know. That's really very nice. I feel like you're an angel and you're surrounded by angels around you. That's really beautiful. Wonderful, dear. Dear ma'am, as you mentioned, friends, what role have friends played in your life, right from your kindergarten days till date? Are you still connected with your kindergarten friends, if I may ask that?
Kindergarten, no. But during my 11th, 12th, 10th, 11th, 12th, still connected to them. But in my graduation, we were a gang of 5, 3 boys and 2 girls. All 5 of us are in different corners of the world. 1 in USA, 2 in Canada, 1 in Singapore, I'm here. All 5 of us are connected even till date. It's a 43-year-old friendship, right? And we were together in our 11th, 12th graduation. Post-graduation, we all bifurcated different ways, got married to different people, went away to live our lives in different places. But this 5, we are still in touch with each other, almost on a weekly basis on WhatsApp or on Facebook, somewhere. But we are definitely in touch. And the school gang, I think Corona brought us back together, like on one Skype, you send out a message, who is there, who is there, who is there, who is there. And Corona brought us back together. We started scourging the world, kaun kahan pe hai, and things like that. And that's when we got connected, actually. My school friends, my graduation friends, my post-graduation classmates. But this 5 of us, we used to call ourselves Enid Blyton's famous 5, notorious in our college time. But we are the last 40 plus. Yes. And everybody has played some or the other role in our lives. Each, we have played a role in their lives. They have played a role in our lives. Sometimes we have fought. Sometimes we have stood together and fought another guy and things like that. Sometimes we have discussed our own spouses with our friends. But again, somebody has said, hey, boss, they are your partners. We are friends. Okay. So let's have our decorum of discussion. Right. So this has also happened. But friendships, yes, we have maintained. I have been able to maintain, and I'm very happy to talk about this. One lady, Deepa, from class 7 onwards, and the 5 of us from standard 11. Friendships matter in life. But when you make a friend, I want to tell this to the whole world. When you make a friend, please think and make a friend. Think how much you will learn from him or her, how much that person will learn from you. What can you do as a symbiotic relationship? But when you want to do a friendship, तब उसको दिल से निभा. Then it should come from your heart. But making a friend is a thoughtful act. Continuing with the friendship is a matter of your heart. Both the things are far apart. Friend होने से friendship होगा? No, not necessary. लेकिन friendship जहां होता है, friends जरूर होते हैं. And friendship requires commitment, requires non-judgmental attitude. It requires lot amount of minus ego, minus bias talk for a long sustaining friendship. Friends तो होते रहते. Today I am meeting you for the first time. I and you will become a friend for a lifetime. But will it grow into a friendship? Is when we keep on interacting with each other. Right? You bank on me, I bank on you. I learn from you. You might remember some of my work. Correct? But that's a lifelong commitment. But right now we are friends. We are talking to each other. So being a friend is a thoughtful act. But doing a friendship is a matter of your commitment, is a matter of your heart. You must understand, do I commit to this friendship? And if I commit, then I should be very, very unjudgmental, non-judgmental, unbiased. So what? Yes.
Yes, dear. Yes, dear ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing all your knowledge and expertise and experiences with regard to friendship and how to balance friendship. What is a friend? What is friendship? You've explained. Ma'am, I'd like to know this about boundaries. Now, there could be friends, family members who cross boundaries and take us for granted. It has happened on several occasions with many people. So would you like to share your thoughts and views with regard to boundaries as to how much one should have that in place? Because when you don't have your boundaries in place, people start taking advantage of you and they leave you in a very sad situation, or you are left or treated as a doormat as well, I could say that.
Boundaries are to be set up by us, you yourself. What is your boundary is up to you. Right? Most of us are not able to set our boundaries under social pressure. Right? Particularly, there's a lot of sexual abuse because of not setting boundaries in families. Unfortunately, it happens in well-to-do families. Unfortunately, it happens, I will not like to name, but very well qualified lady who is a leading professor is abused at home. That's because you let yourself to be abused. You are allowing another person to abuse you. You are not setting the boundaries. You are not retaliating. You are not defending. You are not voicing. You are not calling out for help. All under social pressure. All. Log kya kahenge? What will people tell? What will my children tell? How will they take it? What will my in-laws tell? Right? I'm talking at my age. At my age, my contemporary being abused. I always tell her, why don't you raise your voice? She says, what will my children tell? They're adult. I said, if you tell to your children what is happening, they'll stand by you. They'll be your first supporters. But have the courage to tell, ask for help. We do not do that. Right? So the problem is we are not aware about what our boundaries should be. हम तय नहीं कर पाते. We are not able to tell, like when the children are young, that's the time they teach good touch, bad touch in schools. Right? But it is also needed by the parents to talk about this very easily. It's a natural process. What's so big deal in it? All of us are living, talking, breathing, walking, running because of a sexual activity between a husband and a wife, a father and a mother, a man and a woman. So I am living here today. So why should I be ashamed about it? I should not be. Right? Sexual activity is very pious, is very pure, is very genuine, provided it is respected. Provided the relationship is respected, provided the union is respected. But if it is not, then the problem begins. And this should be inculcated in the children at very early ages. 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds. They should be told that we need to respect each other. Like many homes I have seen, today they were talking about good touch and bad touch. Oh, mama will just, shh, okay. Learned it in school, na, ghar pe baat karo. You have understood? Let us not discuss it. Why? You see, you're setting a boundary that you are not supposed to talk about these subjects. It's a taboo matter. You have set a boundary for your child. Now, this boundary will live with the child lifelong. It will remain that I should never talk about this in public. Remember, till the age of 9, 10, we are very moldable. We always remember what our parents or our teachers. And we unconsciously, subconsciously, Indian mothers tell, oh, don't talk about this, don't talk about this. You got your periods, shh, go to the room, go to your room, stay in your room. Don't run, don't do this, don't do that. For what reason? There is no scientific basis of talking like this. Culturally, you need to tell, okay, be dignified. You have grown up. This is what will happen next. This is how your body will grow. This is what will happen. This is what has happened to me. Personalize it. This is what has happened to me. And if grandmoms are there at home, wonderful. The children get a much easier way to understand this whole story. We set boundaries in the minds of our children when they are young. Socially, because of under pressure, we set wrong boundaries. So the child never has a voice on those matters, the taboo, so-called taboo matters in our life. My point is, as a parent, please open those shackles. Open those shackles. Talk about it. Talk about it. Give them a guideline. I go back to my parents. When I was in my 11th, my father was coming back from office and he saw me in the corner of the road with 4 or 5 boys. Having masti, lot of masti, right? He comes back home. I come back home little later. And this is, I saw you at the corner of the road with a bunch of boys. I said, yeah, they're all my friends. And he said, then what are you doing at the gali ke mode pe kyun? Why are you on the road? The whole house, the garden, the chat is there. Come home. Whatever masti you have to do it within a particular area, not on the road. My mother said, all your friends are welcome home. All of them. But not on the road, beta. Because वहां public आते जाती रहती. Accident हो सकता है. लोग हंस सकते हैं. People may laugh at you. People may tell something which is not actually happening. But you come into the home, sit in the garden, go to the chat, be whatever. We are not going to disturb you. You enjoy your time. The liberal way of telling that we are with you. But it is also a very strict boundary that you are not going to do this on the road ever. Very nicely told narrative, right? So the boundaries have to be set by the parents with the children when they are young, but in a very positive, because that's what they will remember all their life. And if you give them the courage, if you tell them, kuch bhi ho jaye, whatever happens, bacha, we are here. Come home and tell us. They will come home and they tell. And when they come home and tell you, shh, don't talk, don't talk. All of us have seen the film Dear Zindagi, right? All of us have seen the film Highway. These are the stories which happen. And they are happening all around us. And I always tell the parents, speak it out, voice it out. Do not shove it under the carpet. No. Until unless you start speaking, the children will not get that strength, moral courage to stand and fight the world. They have to stand and fight them. You give that strength by speaking. Right? So the boundaries need to be set, and for the woman particularly. That is why I call my program I Love Myself. Love yourself first. And if somebody is doing something even emotionally, physically, voice your opinion, fight it out for yourself. If nobody is there along with you, still fight it out for yourself. You have to put yourself forefront. If you do not put, and you expect others, including your parents, to put it, how can that happen? आप अपने आप से प्यार नहीं करते हो तो दुनिया कैसे प्यार करेगी आपसे? You have to love yourself. You have to respect yourself. You have to understand yourself. You have to observe yourself. Then you can voice your mind. Otherwise, it will never be possible. These barriers, one, parents should talk about this early childhood and tell it in a positive tone. Two, give them the courage to speak their mind. Anything going wrong. For example, today is a very liberal way of looking at life, right? Youngsters in my college, very liberal, correct? They think having a boyfriend is my right, okay? Every child thinks that we should have a boyfriend. If I don't have a boyfriend, I am not cool. But when the same boyfriend crosses the boundary, wants to get physical with you, then you don't want. Correct? And then you come and complain that they have mere sang jabardasti ho. Right? So I asked them, जबरदस्ती क्यों हुआ? Because of your behavior. You are giving a wrong signal to the person. A friend, that's why I tell, being a friend is different. Having a relationship is different. Having a relationship and converting that to marriage is very different. Marriage is responsibility, not only of two individuals, two families. Relationship is between two people. But friends is, oh, good time together. That's all. There is no commitment. You are giving a wrong signal. Your behavior is wrong. And then when you're not able to take that physical part of it, why do you turn back and tell that इसने जबरदस्ती की? Think ना, ठंडे दिमाग से सोचो. How did that fellow get, who you tell is a very good friend of yours? How did he get that himmat to do this small tweaking to your relationship? Because you have allowed him. Unconsciously, subconsciously, through your body language, right? And suddenly you turn back and tell, no, 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 no. Then create that barrier, no? Tell, I'm a good friend, you are a good friend, but no physical commitment, please. Physical commitment baad mein dekhenge. Let's see how the friendship grows. This is what I tell to my young son of 18 years, 19 years now. Yes, you have a good friend. She's a girl. There is no question of commitment because we don't know in another 2-3 years which line will you go, which line she will go. Be a very good friend. Don't get into a commitment because we don't know in the next 3 years where life will take us. You are all studying. Yes, you must enjoy. Yes, you must have a friend. Yes, you can have a girlfriend. No issues. But that needs a boundary. If you jump over that boundary, it will require certain amount of accountability. Are you ready to shoulder that responsibility? If no, don't jump. If yes, jump. Right? This is how me and my daughter talk to my son, actually. And he dil khol ke humse baat karta hai, right? But you have to create that ambience. And it is primarily the duty of every parent to create that ambience so that the children are able to speak their heart out to you. You have to become their best friend. In good times, in bad times, both the times. You have to set your boundary. When will you become a friend and when will you become a parent? Right? As a parent, yes, you will tell, don't do this, do this, don't do this, do this. But at times you have to become a friend also. That boundary is different. As a parent, boundary is different. Because we are not able to be so open with the next generation. Next generation doesn't know what the boundaries are. I get these complaints at least once a week, one complaint. At least once a week, one complaint. So-and-so said this, so-and-so said that. So I always tell them, okay, dono alag ho jao. Both of you will come to me in different time. You come to me now, you come to me after 3 hours. And when you are alone, then I tell them, first look into yourself. Don't blame anybody. Look into yourself. Do you find something which is going wrong? Right? Do you find your expectations are different? Do you think you have put your expectations there and the person is not behaving? Do you think you are allowing that person to come closer to you and now you cannot face your parents? Do you think you will get into a trouble, physical trouble tomorrow? Think. Think about your own self first. No blame games. Slowly they calm down. I'll talk the same thing with the other person. then both of them will come to the same level. And I always tell to all my students, you are here to do an MBA. पहले वो कर लो, अच्छी नौकरी पालो, उसके बाद relationship. You are studying here with your parents' money, not with your money. So respect that part of the story. Somebody's hard-earned monies you are using. Live up to that first. वो खत्म करो, then next cycle, then next cycle, then next cycle. The multiple cycles एक साथ मत करो. Doesn't work. Right? So these boundaries need to be laid by us by understanding our own selves. If you love yourself, if you respect your own self, you will automatically lay your That today morning's class, one of the students gave up a job, a very good job in a bank. Yeah. And he was very guilty about it, that he has given up the job. He comes from Nepal. He's studying in Bangalore an MBA. His job offer was ready. He started working there, but then he gave it up. So there is this small little activity that I do for the communication classes. You can talk whatever you want to talk to, but only you are given only 3 minutes to talk. You cannot cross 3 minutes. And you have to talk minimum for 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Whatever is your story, whichever story you want to tell, you can share it with the class. So this boy today suddenly told that there was so much pressure to meet targets that his senior told to him, you ask your father to start depositing money. You ask some uncle or aunt to start depositing money. So he was telling that I felt that is very unethical. My principals said that it is unethical. How can I tell them to deposit money? Because I have to save my targets. So I told them, no, I will not talk to my family people. I will try to pitch in the market and get the money. But he was unable to do it. So his senior said, the only way that you can meet targets is ask your friends and family to do the money. That is okay. And at that point, he said, no, I do not think it is ethical. I am putting in my papers. But he had that guilt in his mind. So he was telling that story in the class. And his last sentence to the story was, did I take a right step or a wrong step? Please tell me. He's asking the class. Right? So when the whole, about 10 to 15 people in the class said, no, you did a right thing, a very ethical thing. I could see his guilt, going out of him. He took a very long sigh like that. So I asked him, Rajan, what was the problem? Guilt come on me. He said, yes, ma'am, I had a lot of guilt. And I thought this is the best platform to ask everybody. So you see, the youth has got nice principles. Very nice principles. They are very thoughtful thinking people. But as seniors, we need to handhold them sometimes. We need to tell them that, yes, you've done it. Dusra naukri mil jayega. It will definitely happen. Sometimes help them find a job. Sometimes give them a reference. Right? But do that part of the job. Do not crucify the youth. I think today's youth are very good. They are thinking people. Not like what happened 20 years back, 30 years back. हमारे ज़माने में हम थोड़ी इतना सोचते थे. We never did think. They're thinking about sustainability. They're thinking about relationships. They're thinking about their jobs. They're thinking about, ethical things. They're ready to do some social work. They're ready to donate blood. Just give a call, you will see 20, 30 boys and girls donating blood. It was not there 20, 25 years back. So the thought processes have changed. Behaviors have changed for the good. As seniors, We only need to be there, a small little nudge here and there. I think we have a wonderful generation coming up. Yeah.
Yes, dear. Beautiful sharing, ma'am. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Ma'am, do you have even love for pets too? Are you a pet mom as well?
You touched a very raw chord. We used to have a wonderful pet, a golden retriever. We just lost him last October. All of 11 years. Yes, 11 years. Huge guy. And we used to love him. Our day used to begin with thinking that, aaj Scooby kya khayega? Who is taking out Scooby for the walk in the morning, in the afternoon, in the night? And then the rest of the family's plan would come. But it was always Scooby in the center. Okay, Mama, today morning you are taking, tomorrow morning Bhaiya is taking, I will take, in the afternoon you are not there, somebody else will take. But we used to take our dog out ourselves. We never had a dog walker with us. And he was the child of the house. And having a pet, you cannot think of a pet as a dog. You have to think of a pet as your child. He was so well trained that he would not get onto our beds until unless when lightning used to happen. He was very afraid of lightning. So whenever thunder and lightning used to happen, he used to jump onto the bed and he used to touch one of us and keep quiet there. We had to hold him up there. During Diwali, we literally used to sit with him in our laps. Because he's very afraid of, all dogs are afraid of all this. So yes, we are a huge pet lover, and my daughter always says, Mama, I'm getting a next dog. I'm getting a next Scooby Junior. But we'll see. But yes, we used to have a dog, just lost him about 5 6 to humor of in the kidney. We lost him.
Yes, ma'am. That's really nice. And I'm sure Scooby would have had a lovely time with all of you. And now, right now, he might be in heaven, and listening to our conversation. That's really nice. Yes, dear. Because even animals do have, that feeling and attachment, and we are also beautiful souls.
Yes.
Ma'am, if you were given a chance like this, an opportunity to have a time machine in your hand, and we ask you to click one of the buttons which will enable you to go into the past era where you have to go there and relive somebody's life. It's just an imaginary question. Relive somebody's life and come back. If I put the question in the right way, if you're given a time machine in hand and asked to click a button, which would take you into the past era, the project there or the task is to relive somebody's life and return back. If this was the case, whose life you'd love to relive?
I would relive my own life. My own life. And probably, no, as it is. I think I would like to live my own life. And if at all anybody's life, my father's life. Yes, that's the max I can think about. Because my father was a child of the Indian partition, 1947. And he used to study under the street lamps, study there. And I remember going to my grandma's place till about 1976. They did not have electricity in their home. But my father in 1947-48, he studied, got scholarship. 1950s, he went abroad to do his PhD. In those days, all scholarship funded. Came back because his mother wanted him to come back. His mother did not want him to marry a Gori maid, and come back and marry an Indian girl. Okay, I'll come back. He came back, a wonderful career and things like that. And maybe because of that, because he had seen the Indian partition and the 1947 partition. And then he had also seen education in US in a matter of 15 years. Maybe because of that, he was so liberal with us. Maybe because of that, his viewpoint of life was different. And that's how we have a very different viewpoint of life. And so are my children. They also have a very different viewpoint of life, right? They are not the typical students. They are not the typical, like I remember my son telling my son, tomorrow is maths board exam. Why are you not revisioning? He was sitting and painting. I said, Are one whole year I have studied. और कितना पढ़ना है? I want to do my painting. And my husband looked at me and said, let him be. Let him be. It's okay. And when he got his mark sheet, he said, look at my maths marks, madam, first, and then the rest of the marks. They're like, what we value is the moment that we are living in now, right? Enjoy that moment. Be thankful to Allah, God, Bhagwan. This is a good. That's it. Anytime I will live my own life.
Yes, dear. As you've mentioned, God, the Almighty. If the Almighty or the universal energy was to gift you a superpower and said, Suparna, you could choose your own superpower. We could give anything that you choose. What would you choose as a superpower?
Spread happiness. To let people know that happiness will not come by the window to you. You have to create a mindset to people could know that. If I am happy, then I'm happy. If I'm a happy person, I perform good in my work. If I'm a happy person, I radiate that in my family. If I'm a happy person, even I'm good to my driver, my maid servant, they're all helpers. Right? They're all helping us. They are not maid servants. They are not drivers. They are not security people. They are our extended family. One day the maid servant doesn't turn up, all hell will break loose. Driver doesn't turn up. Who is going to drive? So I feel that they are more of an human infrastructure all around us. There's a lot of dignity of labor, right? Now this is what many of us do not understand. ये तो काम वाली है, driver है, security वाला है. So what? नहीं है तो what will you do? Correct? Because see, when I and my husband, when we were young, my daughter used to come back from school. I still remember this one case when my maid, who used to stay the whole day till one of us came back from office, that day for some reason she had to go home. So my daughter, nursery class or so, comes back, goes home, finds the door locked, comes to the security wala and says, "Ala hai, mukti nahi hai." So the security fellow says, "Aap baitho mere paas." Gives her a glass of water, calls up my husband. Your Betty has come home, but Mukti is not there yet. My husband says, where is my daughter? She's with us. Please don't get worried. आप आराम से आइए, बेटी पानी वानी पी रही है. Don't get worried. See how they help. How they help. And my daughter sat there till Papa came around. No rona, no dhona, nothing. Had water with them, sat with them, was playing with them. All of 4 years, 4.5 years. Papa comes, says thank you, and goes off. How much of dependency is there on these? And if you are not showing your gratitude to them, you are not showing gratitude to yourself, actually. अपने आप को आप respect नहीं कर रहे हो. If anybody could give me that power, I would like to tell people that be happy with yourself. Have a sense of value for anything. कोई भी चोर में भी ईमानदारी होती है. They don't go and do चोरी in somebody else's इलाका. अपने इलाके में चोरी करेंगे. ईमानदारी नाम की चीज तो है. But under what circumstances has he become a chore, we don't know. But we are ready to, hit him up like anything. तो बैठ के बात किया उनसे कि भाई क्या है? What is the majra in your life? नहीं करते. Give me that power. I'd love to spread that. That's what I'm doing actually. As you read out, happiness and well-being. Because when I came and when I started talking about mental health in various places, before COVID this was, and people used to tell that, what are you talking about? I said, what am I talking about? This is the need of the hour, right? And thereby I created that course in my university. And I see how youngsters, change because of that. I would love that part.
Excellent, excellent, ma'am. Thank you for sharing all of this, ma'am. Now we have a small segment called as the rapid fire round, which will just take another 10 minutes. You've been very patient all along, ma'am. Thank you so much for your expertise, inputs, and wisdom that you've shared. Hats off to you for all of that, ma'am. I'll just take another 10 minutes from you, ma'am. With your permission, may I go ahead and conduct this small session called as the rapid fire round?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
dear. This round is a small round, ma'am, where you'll have to answer either in 1 word, 2 words, or maximum 1 sentence. We'll get to know about your likes and dislikes. Yes, dear? Yes. My dear friends, it was a lovely journey. And of course, something still incomplete. We need ma'am once more on the International Fab Talks. There's a lot more to tap out from ma'am. She's a hidden gem. There's so much more to learn from ma'am. But today we've learned a lot, but still there's more for all of us. We promise to bring ma'am back once again, but now it's the time for the rapid fire round. Dear ma'am, your favorite breakfast?
Idli.
Idli with what? Sambar, podi, or?
Idli dipped in sambar.
Wow. Among all the 12 months, which is your favorite one?
February.
Any specific reason?
I am a child of February, and that's the time when spring comes in.
May we
you
know
see,
your birthday?
yeah, my birthday is on 5th of February.
Belated
And
birthday.
yeah, thank you so much. And in Bangalore particularly, you suddenly see all blossoms, gulmohar, the Japanese cherries, the petunias, the dahlias, all are blooming. Spring, it's the springtime. I love the month of February.
Yes, that's really nice. Your favorite number, dear?
5.
5. The favorite day of the week?
Thursday.
Have you ever regretted spending money on any item that you bought and said, oh, why did I buy it? I spent a lot of money on this.
I don't buy too many things.
Okay.
No.
Yes, dear. The insect that you don't like?
Lizard or snake.
Yes, dear. Is it tea or coffee?
Tea.
Comfort or style?
Comfort.
Yes, dear. Any phobias, ma'am?
Phobia. Not exactly. Not exactly.
Yes. Is it comfort or style? Did I ask you that?
Yes. I said comfort.
Comfort. Yes, dear. I didn't hear because there was some sound from my side, so I didn't hear that clearly. Indoor games or outdoor games? What appeals to you?
Outdoor.
Interested in cricket?
Was for a very, very long time. Now I have lost. The Kapil Dev, Gavaskar era, even the Dhoni era, yes. But Virat Kohli, I have lost touch.
Yes. Your favorite snack, ma'am?
My favorite snack, aloo bhujia.
Yes, dear. Ma'am, your favorite music? You mentioned ghazals earlier.
Ghazals.
Ghazals. You believe in giving people a second chance?
Always.
More than a second chance?
A third maybe in certain cases, but never a fourth. But a second chance always. Always a second chance, because we really don't know under what circumstances somebody is behaving. So always give a second chance. A third chance, be very, very careful. But a fourth chance, never.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that beautiful clarity. We all needed that, including me too. Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, are you an early riser or a night owl?
Night out.
Salty, sweet, spicy, or sour food?
I see.
Life is all about happiness or money?
Happiness. But we need money. If somebody says money is not important, being happy is important, I do not believe in that. Money is definitely important, because money may not be able to buy you happiness. Money may not be able to buy you sleep. Money may not be able to buy you love, but money will be able to feed you. Money will be able to give you roti, kapda, and makan, the basic requirements to live a dignified life. So money is a must.
If you were to prioritize money over happiness or happiness over money, how would you take that? What would come first?
Priority would be always for happiness, right? And then money. But I will not ignore. That is for sure.
Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, you consider yourself to be an introvert, extrovert, or an ambivert personality person?
I'm a very ambivert personality. It takes me time to open up to people. I'm not somebody who will suddenly make friends. I'm not capable of doing that. But once somebody makes friends with me, yes, then I am very. And if I feel the wavelength matches, then I get going with that person. So I'm an ambivert. I will take my position depending on the situation that I'm.
Well explained. Beautiful. Dear ma'am, do you love socializing or me time? What would you prioritize? I put it in that way.
Me time.
Are you a beach person or a forest person?
Beach.
Is it song or dance? What do you prefer?
Song.
Would you oblige to sing a song for us? A line or two?
I don't think so.
A line or two? Maybe one of the favorite ghazals of yours.
Favorite ghazal. तो याद नहीं आएगा, गजल के words are very. One of my favorite nazam. I am getting the whole thing, but one of my most favorite songs was Rajini Gandha Fool Tumhari, or whatever that song was. Was a very very romantic piece when I was very young. And I love that song. And there are a lot of Rabindranath Tagore songs which I love. You know, I love songs, but I don't sing technically.
Yes. Matt, you've mentioned earlier you have a lot of books around you, and your dad also used to read out aloud the Rabindranath Tagore poems and lines which he had written earlier. Now, if you were to prioritize reading or music, what would you prioritize?
Music.
Yes, dear. Is it chocolates, cakes, or ice creams? What would you?
Chocolate, grapes, or?
Chocolate, cakes, and ice creams. Pastries, chocolates, and ice creams. Which one would you select first if given all of them, in front of you, if they were placed?
Cakes.
Cake. Any flavor, specific flavor?
Specific flavor, pineapple with little cream.
Yes, dear. Your favorite season, ma'am?
Spring.
Roadways, railways? Waterways, airways. Where are you comfortable traveling long distance?
Roadways.
Any specific reason, like halt and view the place, something like that?
When you're traveling by road, you have your independence. No? You
Wow.
can stop, you can eat, you can get down on the road, watch, take pictures, take movies, come back. So your independence.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful way of explaining that, sharing that. Ma'am, you'd love to stay in a city, a little town, or a village. As of now, you're in one of the beautiful cities of India. Is it like, if given a chance, either to relocate either to a little town or a village?
No, I think I'm a city person. But in the city, I do not like to stay in the hustle and bustle area. Little away from the city is what I like.
Yes, dear, I get that because of the traffic. Yes.
Because of the traffic, because of the noise, too much of noise. Plus, I need to stay in an area which has got a little amount of greenery. You can walk, take your dog out for a walk and things like that. So I have all of those things in and around.
Yes. Dear ma'am, describe a beautiful day in just one word. A perfect day in one word.
Exhilarating. A lot of energy.
Yes, dear. Beautiful. Wonderful word. Yes, lots of energy, lots of positivity. Ma'am, a life skill, a survival skill. Cooking. Are you a great cook too?
I'm not a great cook, but I'm not a bad cook. My husband used to cook better. Well, I lost my husband about a year back, but he was a great cook. Wonderful. I learned cooking from him only. When I got married, I did not know at all to cook. And my parents never told me you have to learn. I learned cooking from him. He was a great cook. I am a good cook.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much. Dear ma'am, your favorite recipe?
My favorite recipe. I can make good biryani. I can make good dal chawal. I can make good paneer ki sabji. Small things.
Yes, dear. They're not small, they're quite big, ma'am. It's quite difficult to do all of that. They're all very interesting, tasty dishes, and it requires a lot of excellence, expertise to put all the right ingredients and the right quantity. If little more or less, then the whole thing is spoiled. Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, are you a great thinker or a great doer? Where do you find yourself in between a thinker or a doer? Which one would you choose?
I would want to be a doer. But if you want to be a doer, you have to think a lot. Right? You just can't be a doer. Then you are in an uncharted water. You don't know whether you'll get results or not. But if you want to be a good doer, you need to think the right way out, the right situation out. All those things need to be thought. And I do not believe in giving time to thinking. Thinking happens on the road, always, 24/7 it has to. But doing needs planning. So I am more of a doer and I love to do things.
Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, you believe in experiential learning or theoretical learning?
Experiential learning.
Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, till date, the best gift that you've ever received?
Bunch of Rajnigandha. Huge bunch of Rajnigandha.
Excellent, excellent, dear. Ma'am, one last request from you for today is, we'd like you to give us 3 gifts in the form of 3 beautiful words to empower us. apart from please, sorry, and thank you, we always put in this little request to all the celebrities on the International Fab Talks to share 3 powerful and empowering words which could create magic in our lives.
Self-awareness, positivity, observation. Be self-aware, have a lot of positivity, observe the world going past you. Learn, plan, defend, fight, anything. You have to observe life which is happening. The 3 words from me: self-awareness, positivity, observe.
Perfect, perfect, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. I wouldn't want to let you go, but I respect your time, dear, and I would love to have you once more on this beautiful, Fab Talk session where we could speak more, because you have a lot to share, lots of positivity. And I would like all of you to say that I love myself, and that's what ma'am has taught us all through this time. Thank you so much, ma'am. Looking forward to many more interactions with you in the near future.
Thank you so much for inviting me to your platform, Fabtalks, International Fabtalks. I hope people hear, listen, understand what I'm trying to tell, and I'm always open to comment. Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear. Thank you so much, ma'am. Stay blessed, ma'am, and stay connected. Thank you.
Thank you for doing such a lovely job.
Thank you, dear. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, ma'am. My dear friends, with this, we come to an end to the International Fab Talks for today. If you like what we are doing, stay connected with us, my dear friends. And please do share this video with the right kind of people. There may be somebody who would want to listen to all of these beautiful things being shared here today. Do us a favor, share this video. And of course, if you like what we are doing, stay connected, like, subscribe, and don't forget to comment as well. Stay blessed. Thanks, dear.
Thank you.
Thank you.